man. Yes. Bill is passing out what I'm going to go over and discuss. And like I said, this is just informational. We're not taking a vote. We don't have to do Robert's Rules of Order, which I'm thankful for. And but we wanted to bring this before you guys and give you this information so that when we come back September 15th, we'll take a vote then. Questions, I mean, if you have any questions, that's fine. What you're getting is a bid that we have gotten from Katie Campbell, works for an asphalt company, from what I understand, and we have a bid that we wanted to discuss with you. On your sheet, it starts off with previous bids. Bill has more bids that he has, but that gives us an idea of what we've gotten in the past. $70,000 for the asphalt, 5 inches of asphalt, which is, my understanding, the best type of asphalt, the thickness of the asphalt. And then 730 feet of curbing for $28,000. That's just to give you an idea. The current bid from Phillips Paving is $68,458.24, which is for the same thing, 5 inches of asphalt with striping. The other bids have been with no striping. So the striping of the lots for each car will be included in that. And also there is a 3-inch bid on asphalt with striping of $48,627. We had a business meeting this week and discussed this. What's that? Yeah, building committee meeting. And a point was brought up, this is a lot of money. But on the other hand, it's going to just keep getting more expensive as we go, year to year. We've been putting this off for years, and if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're not going to just do it halfway, and that's what we wanted to discuss, is some of the concerns that we have, because this bid does not include concrete work. So the middle section where the cars meet, and there's black car stoppers there now, that's one of the places that we wanted to have curbed for snow removal, for things like that. We just want to have the edge come to a concrete curb. But it does not include the outer parts of the parking lot. The tree line on this side would not have concrete curbing, or on this left side. We could get some bids, and I'm thinking here that no curbing, edge break. So if it doesn't have curbing, it's going to eventually just deteriorate and not have that clean edge. So some options that we had was, Bill, I'll go through these, but if there's anything I'm missing here. No curbing, concerns, CU, what's that mean? That's base should not be there. Okay, good. What we would need, as I'm looking at this, is an additional 465 feet to cover each edge and whatever's not right. Now, to let you know, whatever is in gravel now will be tarred. So it'll go all the way up to the concrete exit up there, and then right before the trailers that have been parked there, that's asphalt, and that's gravel, and that will be asphalt too. Also, the trash dumpster that is on the side will be moved, and that'll become another spot. There's concrete there now, and my understanding is that we can probably asphalt around that current concrete and move the trash bin down closer to the building, Ken's building on the street. So you look there, that in addition to our $68,458 is $21,000 more. So we've looked at alternatives, and the alternatives would be we could have concrete parking blocks that are put, I would think, about 5 feet in so that cars would not get to the edge. And those would go for the length of the tar on both sides of the parking lot. And it looks like that has, for rubber, is $2,300.26, and $23.26.66 for the rubber, and then the concrete ones would be $26.66. Instead of rubber, concrete would last longer, basically, is what we were thinking there. On edges, 43 spaces, so that would be 43 spaces going down on either side. No bare island for painting. Bill, what's that mean? Okay. There would be planting that goes. Can we have a mic for
the island out there that's out there now? Would be all paved over. They were going to just take up the parking blocks that we have, pave everything, and then put the parking blocks back down. So that would leave no bare center for planting trees or bushes or anything.
Without the concrete curbing.
Right.
It would just be the way it looks now. So they would just tar, no edging, and those black rubber car stops would still stay there on that. So really the issue is, how do we want to handle the sides and do it effectively? Also, the unique aspect of this bid this time is there's an anonymous giver that will contribute $35,000 on this. So that, don't know if it'll happen in the future, but that's another thing that we need to look at as far as getting a really good deal on tarring and asphalting the driveway. So let's see. So future maintenance, we have maintenance for the tar, if we tar, the seal coat and striping every 5 years. That would be approximately $11,312, which would be broken up, I'm sure, in sections building up to that 5 years. So each year we would put back partly of maintenance to go on to the striping and the seal coat. So that amount is $2,262 a year which is right underneath that. That would come out of the budget each year for that $11,312. So the recommendation that we just wanted to put out before questions is we wanted 5 inches of asphalt with striping, leave the island bare dirt, so don't put concrete in the middle, install cement parking blocks for all 70 spaces, so however many spaces goes up and down each side would have an individual concrete parking stop. And
the island would also.
And the island, correct. Okay, the island would get the concrete spaces. Also in this, we need to, for running water when it rains, it's going to go down this hill, and we'll have to create and get a burn that builds up so that the water flows from here all the way down and stays on the property. So that'd be what, 2 or 3 loads of dirt?
About $2,500 worth of.
So about $2,500 there. Yeah. And we want to do that because obviously we don't want to, I think that's probably a city requirement that you do that. If you have runoff into neighborhoods, I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
Okay.
I tried to get with the city and haven't been successful.
Okay. And then we have parking spaces, $400. Is that for those concrete?
That's the shipping on those concrete blocks.
The shipping on the concrete blocks. Okay. For a total of $73,198. The branch will pay half, and that is $36,599. So comparing the previous bids of $100,000, and with the contribution and the concrete blocks that we're going to put up, we would also make sure that along the tree line that there's dirt put up against the tar in the asphalt. It won't be just sitting high and not, they'll have some support. They're talking about also the ties, the railroad ties that are along there, they'll use that as you know, what do you call it? Just a good stop, a good area so that that tar won't deteriorate as quick. So, is there any questions?
I have one.
Chris?
Okay. Is there any requirement for retention pond or runoff whenever there is curbing or versus non-curbing?
Bill?
There was years ago. I don't know what it is today because I haven't had contact from the city. I've tried 10 or a dozen different calls. No response. So
Is that going to be Living Hope's response or responsibility for Phillips Paving or whoever's doing the asphalt?
whoever's doing the asphalt has to get a permit. And my understanding is that that permit would have to be approved by the city, who would come out and inspect the area and tell us what we need to do.
So this bid is including that job or whatever's included in that? Permitting and everything else?
No, I haven't included that.
So there will be some extra charge probably on that initial inspection. I would hope, Bill, that you get a hold of the city before September 15th when we
I
have
got
a
a
final
call.
vote.
I got a call back from the department I was talking to, finally,
Good.
and he said, "You've got the wrong department," and gave me a number for the other department. I called it, it said it's not in service. I looked up online, and there's no office. So I'm not sure where to turn on that.
This is what our taxes pay for, ladies and gentlemen. Any other questions?
I think Chris kind of covered mine. We need to just be aware that there may be dirt work that needs to happen in the parking lot itself so that the drainage can happen, which would be another cost.
Right. So this is not a sound bid, but it's probably 98% accurate. Any other questions, Chris?
Do we talk now about how the money's going to be raised, or how that's going to go about happening?
Good question. It is with past history when we are set on a building project, we will be asking for donations each week. We'll have a parking lot campaign that we can raise money for. My understanding, there is no time limit on this offer or this bid. So if it's beginning of next year, we don't have to come up with the money by the end of this year, is my understanding. Right, Bill?
Yes.
Got it. Got a second. Chris?
If we vote, could we break down the vote, whether it's going to be for curbing or not, essentially? Because that's about a $30,000 swing.
Right.
So just a thought.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think with my experience with business meetings and votes, the little amount of options is better. So I'd like to just come together. If it was me, I think that based on what I heard in the building committee meeting, that those concrete car stops would be sufficient to prevent, the deterioration. It would prevent cars from going too far to the edge. So I would be, in favor of no curbing and using the blocks, which would be cheaper, which would be easier to raise the money for. Colin, 2 years from now, can we put curbs in an existing lot? I don't know if you dealt with concrete, so.
Yeah, you can always cut back the asphalt, your 2 foot, dig down with that excavator or whatever, and do curbing at any point. It's just an expensive process, so
Okay.
I think those concrete blocks would be fine for what we need, and we don't use the parking lot every single day all the time either, so.
Right.
I have a concern with the island being bare dirt because you're going to get water and moisture and everything in that subgrade that's going to go under the asphalt. I feel like that's going to cause issues. For maintenance purposes. It may be better just to do the whole thing and not have an island that could potentially be more maintenance in the future. So
That's true. So just covering up the middle island. Would that bid include covering that?
Yes. This bid is doing that as it stands.
I would be, that's a good point.
What was the point for the bare dirt? Was there any reason for that?
Planting some trees,
Okay.
or shrubs or whatever.
Maybe as a branch we could build wooden planters or something to put in the middle, tall planters.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, Chris, I think there would be a number of things that we could do with that center. But, and that's why we're here. We're wanting to just discuss. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but yes, go ahead.
Concrete curbing blocks have a tendency to break, shatter with age, but people bumping into them against their pins. So really, I kind of like the little asphalt ones we've got, because they're going to absorb more shock without breaking as such.
Right.
Now, maybe they'll tear loose with time, I don't know, but that would be better known by somebody else.
So I couldn't hear you, but you're saying that the middle, go ahead and tar that like we were just discussing,
Yeah.
instead of leaving dirt, and the concrete would still go on either side.
If that's how you want to do it, but again, like I say, unless it's a solid curb, they're
Right.
not good to stop cars. The blocks are break the ends off and in the holes and create problems there. So curbing is much better than asphalt blocks. I mean, concrete blocks.
In particular in the center,
Yeah, any place.
any place, right. But yeah. So that's why we're here. Concrete curbing would be an additional $475, $20,000. So that's the option of curbing. And Bill, that 465 feet is on both sides in the middle?
That's on both sides. The middle is the 11,700.
Okay.
So it's over $32,000.
$32,000 to have
for complete curbing.
curbing all around. So, any other questions? So it would move, let's see.
Just a suggestion, we could do $32,000 worth of curbing this year and pave the lot next year for,
In just sort of a preparation
yeah.
type of thing, and would the bid still,
They would be similar, I'm sure.
okay. They're giving us a family and friend discount, so it's not a one-time deal. So that's another thing. Chris?
I was going to say, I think it'd be good to vote on that, whether we want curbing or not. That's kind of what I was proposing earlier.
You want to vote now?
No.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so this is what has been proposed. We all understand that it's a political season, the economy, things like that have, and the needs of our branch. My understanding is right now, as far as projects go, this is pretty much the only one left. We've gotten the bathrooms remodeled and updated, paint outside. So this would be, it would continue to be one of our items that we would put forth before the congregation each year. But it would get more expensive each year. Any other questions? I hear a bunch of stomachs growling right now. So I am going to, I think we can update before the 15th on anything new, and I would bring it before you before the vote and let you guys know. Is that it? We are adjourned. Have a great day. Thanks for your time.